Hello, I'm Professor Kerry Irish. Welcome to another of my selected readings in C.S. Lewis's Mere Christianity. In our previous readings, Lewis established the idea that human beings are under a moral law that must originate somewhere outside of the observable universe. Moreover, human beings have been aware of the law in all ages and places, but are also free to disobey the law, a freedom they exercise with great regularity. Today, Lewis considers the consequences of disobeying the moral law. In the chapter entitled, "We Have Cause to Be Uneasy," we might translate this mid-20th century English expression into 21st century American, "We have reason to be afraid." Lewis wrote, "I ended my last chapter with the idea that in the moral law, somebody or something from beyond the material universe was actually getting at us. That is, communicating with us. And I expect when I reached that point, some of you felt a certain annoyance. You may even have thought I played a trick on you, that I had been carefully wrapping up to look like philosophy, what turns out to be one more attempt at religious persuasion. You may have felt you were ready to listen to me as long as you thought I had anything new to say, but if it turns out to be only religion, well, the world has tried that, and, well, you cannot put the clock back. In other words, religion is hopelessly old-fashioned. First, as to putting the clock back, would you think I was joking if I said that you can put a clock back and that if the clock is wrong, it is often a very sensible thing to do? But I would rather get away from the whole idea of clocks, of being old-fashioned. We all want progress, but progress means getting nearer to the place you want to be. And if you've taken a wrong turn, then to go forward does not get you any closer to your destination. If you are on the wrong road, progress means turning around and going back to the right road. And in that case, the man who turns around the quickest is the more progressive man. There's nothing progressive about being pig-headed and refusing to admit a mistake, although it's very human. And I think that if you look at the present state of the world, it is quite plain that humanity has made some big mistake. Here I remind the listener that Lewis wrote Mere Christianity in the midst of World War II. And while World War II was a great catastrophe, the world today is still deeply troubled. Lewis continues, "We're on the wrong road. And if that is so, we must go back. For going back is the quickest way forward." Then, secondly, this argument has not yet turned into a defense of religion. We have not yet got as far as the God of any particular religion, still less of the God of that particular religion called Christianity. We've only got as far as somebody or something behind the moral law. We're not talking about anything from the Bible or the churches. We are trying to see what we can find out about this somebody on our own steam, using our own reason. And that truly is philosophy. And I want to make it quite clear that what we find out on our own steam is something that gives us a shock. You see, we have two bits of evidence about the somebody. One is the universe it has made. If we use that as our only clue, then I think that we would have to conclude that our somebody was quite an artist. For the universe is a very beautiful place. But we would also have to conclude that this somebody is quite merciless and no friend to man, for the universe is a very dangerous and terrifying place. The other bit of evidence is the moral law, which it has put into our minds. And this is a better bit of evidence than the other because it is inside information. One finds out more about God from the moral law than from the universe in general, just as you find out more about a man by listening to his conversation than by looking at a house that he has built. Now, from the second bit of evidence, we conclude that the being behind the universe is intensely interested in right conduct, is intensely interested in fair play, unselfishness, courage, good faith, honesty, truthfulness. In that sense, we should agree with the account of the supreme being given by Christianity. But not only Christianity, other religions as well. And that is that this being is good. But let us not go too fast here. The moral law does not give us any reason to think that this supreme being's definition of good includes the idea of being indulgent or soft or even sympathetic toward our moral failures. There is nothing indulgent or soft about the moral law. It is as hard as nails. It tells us, do the right thing, the moral thing. And it does not make allowances for how painful or dangerous or difficult the right thing is to do. We're just supposed to do it. If God is like the moral code, he is not soft. This concludes Lewis's thought for the moment on the being who stands behind the moral law. He leaves us with the thought that if the moral code is all we know about this all-powerful being, we have cause to be uneasy, even afraid. And I thank you for your kind attention.